Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I am going to hack your life. No, I'm actually not. So here's the thing. I know I've made a video about this before, about why you don't actually want to hack your life. And I have been seeing so many posts about, this hack for your hormones, this hack for your business, this hack for your weight loss, this hack for your health, this hack for this hack for that. And I really feel like it's super important to consider what I'm going to say in this video about this desire that we tend to have as a culture to accelerate everything. We want to get things done, and we want to get things done yesterday. And I think that this desire to kind of like accelerate our process, to accelerate our experience here as people, as humans, it makes sense in a way, okay? So this wanting to be super achievers, and this wanting to get a lot done in a short period of time, and this desire for efficiency is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? And it's not necessarily wrong, and it's not necessarily harmful. However, generally the psychology behind people in our society who are obsessed with getting results fast, with getting results right here, right now, today, that are obsessed with not having to go through the phases of a journey, right? They want to get from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain without having to actually climb the steps in between. It is actually a harmful psychology, okay? It's not that we are a world full of people that are just hungry for life and we really want to have lots of different experiences, okay? So if that was the motivation behind this whole let's hack your life movement that seems to be kind of sweeping the nation right now and has been for a while, if that was the energetic underpinning of it, I would be all for it, right? Because we did come here to experience, and we did come here to have lots of different experiences. And if that's really what it was, if we were just hungry for life, like I said, then this would be a completely different video. I would be totally, like I say, kind of helping you to hack your life, right? But when we really look at this whole idea of why we're so obsessed with getting things done fast, with getting things done yesterday, with not having to go through the process, with not having to go through the journey, it usually boils down to two things. Number one is that we are obsessed with avoiding pain, but we're doing it in a way that almost ensures that we're going to be in pain, right? So most of the time, people don't want to accelerate their vacation, right? They don't want to accelerate through their wedding day. They don't want a hack for how to, get through things that are awesome. The reason people want hacks, the reason people want shortcuts, the reason people want to shorten their journey is because they don't want to have to do the waiting part or the working part or the journey part on the way to what they want, right? The reason people want hacks, right, is because they don't want to do the whole months and months and months of monotonous, maybe, eating healthy, going to the gym, sleeping, thinking you're really good, your positive thoughts about yourself, and building the lifestyle that is going to sustain a healthy body. They want to lose weight today, right? People don't want to put in the hours and the long nights and the effort and the toil and the struggling and the testing and the of creating a successful business. They want the hack. They want someone to tell them, okay, you can do this, do this, do this, and here you will have a successful business. You will have the money, right? So what I'm saying is that most of this hack mentality that we've got is that we're trying to short circuit or circumnavigate any of the pain or the boredom or the monotony of the journey that it's going to take to get us from where we are to where we want to be, right? So like I say, we're not trying to hack, getting through our vacations. We're not trying to make the things that we're enjoying go faster, right? We're wanting to hack the more uncomfortable journeys. And and like I say, in that, we are fooling ourselves into thinking we're going to be avoiding pain. And I will explain to you why it's fooling yourself. But it is fooling yourself, right? But the point is that you want to avoid pain. You want to avoid the suffering. You want to avoid the boredom. You want to avoid the monotony. You want the exciting end goal and all the happiness that you think is going to be over there without having to go through the in-between period of, thinking of what you want and then the actual having of it. There's always that space in between, and none of us want to go through that. And then the second thing, so it's like a little bit, yeah, that's basically it. We're trying to avoid the pain. And the second thing is that we still, as a society, it appears, do not understand the value of the journey, right? We really still don't get that the journey is the thing. We still think of the journey as the obstacle between where we are and where we want to be. We still think of our happiness and our satisfaction and our joy and our peace being off over there after we have the thing that we want, and I just want to race through whatever it is that's in between me and that thing because it's blocking me from having what I want, right? So we really believe that this, like, having to split test your business stuff, having to spend just hours and hours and hours writing to no one, right? Or spending hours and hours at the gym and just kind of eating healthy and not really seeing like flashy results or like we still don't see the value in the pushing through or the getting through when the nothing's happening, right? And so this is kind of the main point of this video, okay? Is that I really want to drive home the point that the reason the in-between happens, okay? The reason that you don't just think of what you want and then walk into it the next day, right? Because you could. This is the thing. It is possible to instantaneously manifest things. And I think all of us have done it at least once in our lives, where we've thought about something and it like basically came right to us, okay? And then there are other things, like I say, like bigger journeys, bigger goals, bigger things that we want that don't come like that, that require a journey, that make us have to go through a series of steps, a series of processes, a series of journeys, a lot of learning and growing between point A and point B. And for many of us, we don't understand why sometimes we can just get what we want, and sometimes it takes forever to get what we want. And the reason that this is because the person that you need to become in order to sustain and maintain the new life that you want requires a journey. This is the point of the journey. The journey is not the obstacle in between where you are and where you want to be, okay? The journey is the thing that makes you into the person that can be at the end and maintain it, okay? So I'll give you an example from my own life. I wanted to move to Thailand, and I wanted to move to Thailand back in 2012. And the thing is, we moved here in 2013, right? And we got on a plane, we sold all of our stuff, we got here, we were here for 4 months, and we could not sustain it. We could not maintain it. The vibrational difference between who we needed to be in order to maintain living here and who we actually were at the time was so different that we were not able to sustain this life, right? We jumped into what we wanted, we hacked it, technically speaking, right? And we couldn't hold it. We couldn't have it because we weren't the people we needed to be yet, right? So then we went all the way back to the Western world and took basically another 3 years to get here. And for most of those 3 years, I was just like everyone else, believing that like this is the block to what I want. The universe is blocking me from having Thailand, right? We were in Montreal and that was terrible. We were in San Francisco and I hated that. We were in BC, we were in Mexico, and it's like, why can't we be in Thailand? Da 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 da. Now, on the other side of it, right, as much as I tried to push and force and make it happen, it never worked. The universe, right, we were slowed down. I can now see the person that I became because of every step along the path to getting here was exactly what I needed, and exactly what Marcus needed, and exactly what Sam needed, so that we could live here sustainably, right? We are mentally in a completely different place. We are emotionally in a different place. We are financially in a completely different place. We are physically in a completely different place, right? We are 3 almost completely different people now, this time, than we were last time we were here. And the people that are here now, because of everything that we went through, can sustain and maintain this life, okay? Where we could not do it before. And this is the thing, Thailand didn't change, we changed, right? And so this is the exact same thing for you in your life. Anything that you want is already a vibrational possibility for you, okay? The only reason that you can imagine it, the only reason that you can conceive of it, the only reason that you can even conjure up an image of you having what you want at all is because it's possible for you. And it's always been possible for you. This is the thing, okay? So when you set your mind to wanting something and you become obsessed with it, you become focused on it, you become drawn to it, you become whatever it is that you're repetitively thinking about wanting this thing, the universe has already said yes. And this is what you need to understand, is that the universe has already said yes. Everything that you're asking for, everything that you focus on, the universe has said yes. It is a possibility. That's why you can see it in your mind, okay? It's a probability. So what this means is that whatever then comes into your field, whatever comes into your life, whatever comes into your experience in between you being where you are now and you having what you want at the eventual end of the line is the curriculum. So I want you to think of it like this. It's basically like the school of life saying, okay, you just told me, like, it's like you're like talking to a guidance counselor. Think of it like that. So you sit down with the guidance counselor and you tell them, okay, I want to be a doctor, right? I want to get my PhD in medicine. And they're like, perfect, good, you can totally do that. I can see whatever, right? Because you can imagine it, it's a part of your reality. So they're like, yep, we've done the aptitude test, whatever. You are completely qualified to get on this track towards medicine. But is that guidance counselor so pretend that you're like, 10 years old, and this is what you've done, you've said, because this is kind of where most of us are at, right? You're like 10 years old, and you've told your guidance counselor you want to be a doctor. Is the guidance counselor going to be like, okay, 10-year-old you who would like to be a doctor, we're going to start putting you in, pre-med, or like med school. We're going to put you into med school in university. We're going to get you doing rounds at the learning hospital near you. Is that what a guidance counselor is going to do when you're a 10-year-old telling them that you want to be in med school, a doctor? Or is that guidance counselor going to say, great, you want to be a doctor. You're 10 years old, you're in grade 8, right? Grade 8 is the next step for you. And then you'll do grade 9, and then you'll do grade 10, and then you'll do grade 11 and grade 12, and then you'll do your undergrad in biology, right? And then when you're done your undergrad in biology, you will apply for med school. And that is the track that they put you on, right? So now if you're this grade 10 student or this 10-year-old, and you just got told that you have to go to grade 8, and you're thinking you're not on the path until you're in med school, right? Like, it's not right until you're in med school. Then you're going to be looking at grade 8 and you're going to be like, what the fuck is this, right? This is nothing like med school. We're not even talking about medicine at all. We're barely even talking about the body, right? There's like one little tiny biology unit in science in grade 8, right? It's barely anything. It has almost nothing to do with what you want to do, right? You're learning all these other different skills, and you're going to look at that and you're going to be like, well, what the heck is this? This is nothing. This is completely unfocused. This is not what I want to be doing. This is not who I am. I don't want to do grade 8. I shouldn't have to do grade 8. Put me in med school, right? And this sounds silly. Hopefully to you this sounds silly. Hopefully you're like, well, of course, right? Of course the 10-year-old has to go through middle school and high school, and then they have to go through their pre-med, and then they have to go through their med school, and then they'll become a doctor. That's how it works, obviously. And we wouldn't want to put them anywhere ahead of where they were, because they wouldn't have the knowledge that they needed from all the previous learning in order to do the step that they were at. So this is the thing, right? The guidance counselor would be doing this 10-year-old no favors by accelerating them to med school or to even university when they're in grade 10, when they haven't done middle school and high school, because like I say, the grade 8 student might not understand why he has to bother with English literature, why he has to bother with social studies, why he has to bother with math. But we're understanding that these skills that he's getting, while they may not directly apply to where he's going, they indirectly apply. That everything applies, everything is learning, everything is growing this person's mind, everything is setting them up so that each step on the path, right? So when they do grade 8 and then they go to grade 9 is doable, and then grade 10 is doable, and then grade 11 is doable, and then grade 12 is doable, and then first year university is doable, right? Because we took the steps and you learned each thing along the way. That's how you get to where you want to go, right? But what most of us are doing is we're telling the universe what we want. The universe is saying absolutely yes, perfect, you can have that 100%. Here's where you are. So go do this, right? And we all look at that and we're like, what? No, that's not right. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it. I want to be in med school. And we're all the 10-year-olds saying we're not going to do any school until we're in med school. And the universe is being like, what? Okay, I'm trying to help you get to med school. This is exactly the track to med school, but this is where you're at. Okay? So this is where the everything is blessing me is so important. Right? When you feel like life is blocking you from having what you want, when you feel like you want a hack to get there faster, here's the hack to get there faster. Do what's in front of you right now. Okay? Because the student who just does grade 8 with everything they got, gets straight A's in grade 8, is going to do amazing in grade 9, going to do amazing in grade 10, amazing in grade 11, amazing in grade 12, and that person is going to be so much better equipped, right, to be a good learner, to be a good studier, to be a good, right, like have all of these skills that they need to be a really good doctor, eventually, through everything that they've done and through committing to it completely, fully. Then the person that's like kind of half-ass in grade 8, half-ass in grade 9, trying to get through it faster, just trying to get through so they can get to med school. Because the person that just kind of half-asses their way through it and thinks that they're going to all of a sudden become a really hard worker once they're in med school is going to find that they're not actually able to do that, right? They don't have the skills, they don't have the container, and they didn't learn what they needed to learn in between. And so getting to where they actually wanted to be, they can't hold it, okay? So think, where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. The universe has said yes, so commit. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.